It's the old saying of Gorilla Monsoon, the irresistible force versus the immovable object. So who's gonna win between two villains of the X-Men mythos, between Juggernaut and the Blob? So Juggernaut's a green and red user. Green is gonna cost 6, and it's gonna destroy up to 16 random tiles on the board. Obviously, you don't deal damage. You don't gain AP from the tiles that are destroyed. And then the his red ability, Headbutt. Uh, I believe this one here, since it's at level 3, what is it? 10 AP, I think. It's either 10 or 8. We'll double check and see when we get into the fight. But it deals damage to the target, and then a little bit of retaliatory damage to Juggernaut. Alright, so that's all we need to know about Juggernaut. Nothing too complicated. Whereas Blob, well, he's a little bit more complicated, but we're gonna get into him and his abilities real quick. So Blob is a black, green, and yellow user. I'm familiar with some of his powers. It's just the weapon trapping. We may or may not be able to use that. But bring down the house. This costs 8. Destroys some number of tiles on the bottom of the row or the bottom of the board, and then the board shifts down. Um, Obviously, destroyed tiles don't gain AP, but they deal damage. And then at higher levels, you add more more basic tile destruction. All right, weapon trapping. This is the ability that I was hoping that we would get to see a lot of, but I highly doubt it because Juggernaut doesn't activate any special tiles, but Blob does with his yellow ability, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's start at the turn. Blob Blob will convert whatever strike attack or protect tiles that are on the bottom 2 rows. And so it doesn't matter if they're friendly or enemy. He'll just convert those into 1 turn countdown tiles. And then when those countdown tiles it's like resolve, not absolve. But when they resolve, there are some effects. Now, if it's strike tiles, um, Blob's max damage is increased by whatever the listed amount there is. And spoiler alert, there is no cap to the strength of the strike tiles, so they can go as high as however many strike tiles you have on the board. Attack tiles are going to deal damage, and then protect tiles will true heal Blob's health. Since we're going to be dealing with protect tiles, we'll be seeing possibly the restore health, unless you have the requisite, oh my goodness, supports. I don't know why I couldn't think of supports. And then finally, Immovable. This is a hard once per turn ability. So anytime that the AI or the enemy team makes a match, and any tiles that happen to fall, like cascades or whatever, is a Blob will hop out in front. He'll create a protect tile, and passively all match damage dealt to Blob is reduced by 90%. So it's going to take a while for matches to hurt Blob, but any enemy special abilities that will hurt Blob. So just be mindful. Hey, he's going to slow the board down just a bit. Alright, his affiliation is mutant, and I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I know it's villains too. There we go. So for a lesser equipped Blob, again, you're just gonna primarily deny red and possibly deny green. So you can do your little board shake. If you happen to have yellow, his yellow ability, Immovable, that's going to help you out with match damage or the reduction of match damage. Alright, so I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna match some tiles. I hope that those little audio, well, visual details that I was giving off, hopefully that conveyed a little bit of what Blob was doing. I really don't have any teams per se to pair Blob up with. Just anybody that uses any sort of strike, attack, or projectiles. They'll be useful with him. As the next Crash the Titans coming up within the next 4 days and 11 hours. As of this recording, will be Negus Hunting Teenage Warhead. So charge tiles. So that'll be fun. Hopefully, this crash here at least gave you some sort of insight as to how to handle Blob in a one-on-one situation, or more specifically, what supports you may need to speed up this particular Crash of the Titans. Is there anything that gives you strike attack or projectiles that'll help speed things up a bit? So we're gonna jump into the next video, which is the Welcome to Shield with Pup, and then immediately after that, there will be the first third of the climb to 2K.